This is probably one of the most like powerful videos and I cannot wait. And I'm going to be talking about the things I wish I knew before doing any manifestation method, you know, whether it's 369 method, whether it's the pillow method, whether it's affirmations, whether it's money manifestation, meditations, whatever method that's out there. I wish I knew these things. And I'm really excited to share this with you guys, this wisdom, and really get into the truth. This is going to be a healing. This is going to be opportunity to get real with you guys. There's no fluff. This is not like the other videos that I've been seeing that people share about manifestation. This is the real deal. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with someone that maybe would really benefit from the relationship of manifesting money. And, you know, maybe they're in a stuck area. Maybe you're in a stuck space. Maybe you're working a lot with abundance and money relationship. This will transform your whole programming being in so many ways. And I'm grateful that I get to share this wisdom with you guys. If you are interested in working deeper, highly suggest you going to apply for my one-on-ones. I have plant medicine retreats as well. And I also have a beautiful course called Citrine Vortex, which is all about sacral chakra. And this is a really powerful chakra system that revolves around the relationship of money. So if you are interested in expanding your abundance, expanding your attraction with money, which obviously you're on this video, then you can go and enroll in the course. It's a recorded workshop that I've made into a course. And all the other things are down below. So let's get into things I wish I knew before doing any money manifestation method. I wrote them down. There's quite a few. And I honestly was at the gym today and I was like, man, this would be a great video. And here we are. So I'm so excited. So the first thing I'm going to straight up tell you guys, it's going to be something that's deep. And I'm going to share a little bit more about this programming that we all have. And it's called saving money is a lie. And I know this is really deep, it's potent, but it's something I've been tracking with a lot of people who are in the frequency of abundance, but also myself now being able to speak on it because I'm not in a broke, you know, anxious space around money. Rather, I'm understanding, and I understand for the past years, the relationship with money that has allowed me to, you know, enjoy travel, allowed me to help and support other people in the space. So saving money is a lie. And what that means is, like, you know, I remember as a child always being saying, make sure you have some of your money to save on the side just in case for a rainy day, just in case something happens. And what that did is it actually created a fear in me. It created a fear around money. It created this idea that, number one, that I don't have a choice around money and I have to save it, and that money has to be controlled. And the thing is money can't be controlled. We know that, you know, at the end of this month, you're going to have bills to pay. You're going to have things that are going to flow in, and there's going to be things that will flow out, right? And we know these things, but we also ultimately don't know what today or tomorrow will hold, and we have no control of that. So for you to manifest anything, any manifestation technique, you have to understand that when you activate a phrase, an affirmation, a meditation, an act, whatever it is you're doing, an Akashic records into your abundance, you know, soul records area, it's knowing that when we saving means lack frequency, right? The word saving means savior. So what you're saying is, for you to continue to save money, I need to save money, I need to save money. It's like, I need to be a savior of money in order for me to be abundant. And that is giving your power away to money. And the thing is we don't give our power away to anything. We ignite our power and we encourage others to be in their power through the reflection of who we are as our energy. So this idea that we were brought up that saving money is an idea that we have to have a certain amount of money to be worthy, to be significant. We've now put money on a pedestal. We've now put these systems, such as the financial systems and institutions, on a pedestal to determine that if we are abundant or not. And money, its energy, its essence isn't about saving. It isn't about a savior energy. It isn't about a mother wound. And I talk about mother wound in the energy of, what is mother wound? Mother wound is everything that your mom and your grandmother and all the women before you didn't heal. They didn't have space to heal, right? And if you're watching this video, we're at a time in the world where a lot of us are able to consciously do this healing, do this work, and really heal what we need to do, right? And, you know, what are the things that women or the lineage of the feminine energy had to do to, be who they are, right? What are the things they couldn't heal? What are the things the traumas they've experienced, right? Now, when we look at feminine energy is all about creating. It's connected to the ability for us to create and to manifest money, right? So if we're saving something, if we're trying to save someone, if we're trying to save something, we don't help someone learn how to fish. We rather make them dependent on us. So when you change that frequency to saving money, it's making the programming that you are being dependent on money. So if your money financing situation isn't great, that means you're not great. And if your money financing is great, then you're great, right? So you're basically making your emotional intelligence, your emotional relationship in general with your life is all revolving around your stance on money. We see a lot of this in the old programming of business, Wall Street, and a lot of stuff like that, where people were constantly chasing after the next sales, chasing after the next, quarter. And it's like when you chase after that, we literally chase after the void back into the earth, back into outside of this life, right? And before we know it, boom, we're done this life. So it's knowing what is your relationship with money and thinking that where are you playing the savior in your relationships, the savior in where you have to catch up on things and feeling like you're always going to need to catch up, because the truth is there's always going to be things to pay. There's always going to be things, money's going to flow. It has to flow in and out. And if you don't accept that, you can't manifest the money. If you can accept that essence, that flow, it has to happen no matter what stage you are in your relationship with money, then you're going to be stuck. And when you're stuck, then you're going to be a victim. And when you're a victim, that means you're a victim to money. And money doesn't like that victim energy. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So this is something that I wish I knew, because there were times in my life where I felt like I needed money to save me where I am. And what I also were in times in my life where I had money 10 times more than I've ever had before. And both times I still felt a certain emotion. I still felt unsatisfied, because I was expecting that if some money saved me, if I had that money, that I would be happier, that I would be able to get all the things and travel. Yes, money makes things easier. I'm not going to lie. It does. It makes it more convenient. You get more comfortable. You can do things. We understand that. But the root of that is understanding your emotional relationship with feeling saved outside of money too. The savior, the victim. And where does that archetype play in your role, in your friendships, in your relationships, in your intimate relationships, in all parts of your life with your family? That's a huge place to look at first. Who was the savior in your household, right? Journal that down. Who wanted to be saved? Who was putting guilt out there? Who was the mother wound? Did your mom have that mother wound? All of our mothers do, right? What are the wounds that your mother continued to live by and victimize and use as a way of power, right? To save, to feel like they had support, to feel like they had love. Where does that come from? The second thing that I wish I knew, that I feel like this one is interesting, and it's about relationships are more important than money. And the biggest thing I will say why people don't manifest money and why manifestation methods never work in that way, they can work, but this is the block that people have, I should say, and all of us have, is that, when we start to do things with the means of interest of ourselves. So I made this really great example on TikTok the other day, and I think it would be great to support here. Say your neighbor comes and knocks on your door and they say, "Can I have a slice of bread, please?" And they go to you and they're like, "Can I please have a slice of bread?" So you give them a slice of bread and you're like, "Okay, awesome. Like, here's the bread. Have a great day." And that's it. That's all. You just gave them a slice of bread. You didn't ask them for $1. You didn't ask them, there was no, it was just like a genuine conversation. How's your day? Da da da. Like, what are you making? You want a sandwich? Great. Yeah, let me give you 2 slices actually, and just giving that bread. Now, let's say that same situation happened and you're new in the neighborhood and your neighbor comes and knocks on the door and asks for a slice of bread. Now, depending on your emotional relationship and who you are as a being, you may feel like that's an opportunity for you to be on the good side of your neighbor. That might be an opportunity for you to have a neighbor that's going to put out your garbage when you're out of town. You might treat that neighbor differently because you're creating this facade, this idea to this neighbor of how you want them to be so they can have a certain relationship with you. You are planting a seed. So one of the biggest things with manifestation methods and just bringing money into our life and receiving money, right, is we plant seeds where the strings of that seed that we're doing for someone is connected to our interests. And the thing is that when we start to do that, and I see this a lot with people who have businesses, people who are light workers, healers, space holders, mentors, is that they have their interest in there and it's slowly focused on their interest, right? So they're doing stuff not from their heart, but from a place of like, I just want the money and I want to make that sale. I want to get this 2 to 5 clients a month, or I want to do this, or whatever it is, right? And I'm just taking this example because I work in a space of working with different people, so it's relatable, and I know it will be relatable to some of you as well, is this relationship that there is a means to an end. Now, let me give you an example, okay? Let's say that you are focusing on creating that next person, and you're now not seeing people as people, you're seeing them as money. You're now still being in the frequency where you're allowing money to be the savior. You're allowing yourself to victimize people, right? And people have emotions. We're sad, we're happy, we have emotions. We are empathic at nature, right? We have to be together. We have to work as a team at nature, and hold this specific phrase that I'm saying here. So when we start to manifest money, we have to understand that money is a direct reflection of our relationships in our life. And when you can start to have relationships out of genuine, grateful relationships, building that connection with people, it creates a web of not only people, but a family that you have all across the globe. And when we have these beautiful relationships, whether that money comes in or not, you feel so abundant that you know that there will be a place to stay, that you know that there's food out there, that you know that there is a community. And that's the thing, for you to be able to make money, to receive money, especially I'm speaking from business perspective, but also for those of you who work for someone too. To receive and manifest money is understanding that that relationship you have is something that's so much deeper, that no matter where you are in your life, you have a team, you have someone backing you up, right? And that's initially why we seek this abundance, right? Is to feel that our needs are met. And when we understand that, when we have these relationships, those aren't always going to be met. Those are always going to show up when you are in that frequency, when that place is from a heart space, whether it's a good day, bad day, whatever it is, right? And when so many of us are looking for the dollar sign, the amount that we're making, which is so easy to get lost in today's world where we have screens and YouTube and all the things, then what happens is we end up having a relationship with money and we lose the relationship with ourselves. And in turn, we lose the relationship with the people around us, right? So I think one of the biggest things to look at is also the healing that can happen with money, right? And that is more, that's needed for you to manifest money. In any manifestation method, you need to heal your relationship of your reality of what is money? What is the programming I have? I'm going to talk more about this in a bit in the video, but what's the programming I have around money? So I can do the affirmations, all the things, but it's not sticking because I'm still programming at this frequency, believing these following things, right? So how we understand that is we look at our relationship with our parents. We look at the people that walked before us, that is very much part of us, and look at their relationship about money. Because when we can see how they put money in a pedestal or in a priority in their life, how does it fit in their life? How do they respect money? How is their relationship with money? Then we understand what we took from them and what we created and engraved in us, because a lot of it comes from them. And we also see the relationship of money in our systems. So in financial systems and how they've impacted us in schools and in other ways that we've learned financial literacy, right? So this is a huge thing that I feel like a lot of people kind of miss. And no books talk about this, right? Is like your relationship with people is equivalent to your ability to attract money, period. Because you understand that it's not about the money. The paper can burn in the fire, but the relationships will be here through every layer. And when we seek money, we're seeking a need that needs to be fulfilled. And when that need comes in, even when the money is tenfold in, we still feel empty because the void is what is creating the manifestation block of us receiving money. So focus more on relationships. Focus less on the aspect of attaining something specific. The second thing I also wish I knew, and it's funny, this one is really interesting, is money relationship is programming of our ancestors in schools. And this was a big thing. So I grew up with one parent that was very academic And, you know, from a space where legal, lawyer, that area, you know, the traditional like parent, you know, parents come from a different country, from the Caribbean, making their way into Europe and Canada, and then so-called Canada, and then they end up, you know, living their life, going from rags to making, you know, middle class. And that's their story. And I know a lot of people who probably are first generation, or maybe, you know, especially here in so-called Canada, there's a lot of, it's made out of immigrants, right? So there's a lot of people who aren't from here, but they came here for a better life. And I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from my ancestors is this aspect that I was born in the time of their struggle. So for me, money was a struggle. Money was hard work. Money was working long hours. Money was taking away time from my family, for me to have quality time, emotional time with my father and my mother. So I had to see what their relationship was. And their relationship was making their payments for their home, making sure their baby was eating food, and they can put their child in school, and making sure that they can just make it work, right? So they were on survival mode. And a lot of our generation before, whether it was because of war, whether it's because they moved to a new country, whatever the circumstance is, I know a lot of people who tend to have money blocks or have a hard time manifesting money. It is really instilled, I think, I would say 70-60% of that blocks come from ancestral programming. And you have to think of it like a computer. This is one of the biggest things that just opened my mind. If you look at a computer, if you look at any technology, because that's really what we are, we're a gridded being, we're a program. And if you were to look at this program and see that it's coded a certain way, and if there's a virus or maybe something that's in this program, we clean it up, right? We clear it, we reprogram it to what it needs to be. So it's the same thing with our human technology, our mind, our energy, our spirit, our soul, all essence of our body, is when we can understand what is the programming of our parents and their grandparents and what they went through and know their story. We can then see our programming that's instilled in our DNA and our genetics that we've accepted to be true because that's what we were come from. And we always say we want to stop generational, start generational wealth and step into that. But it's not about it ends with me. We need to shift from it shifts and I create that energetic wealth in moving over to me, but I also understand the programming that's in me as well. And that's eternal relationship. Like I said, healing is not a state. Healing is a continuous healing process. It's a continuous journey, right? The frequency of money that you attract right now is going to be different 5 years from now, a year from now, a few months from now, just from receiving this template. So remember that. What are your ancestors taking? What was their relationship with money? How did they work? Like, what was their everyday life? Where was their energy going into? Then we add another layer of school, right? So we have a school system that's talking about you need to go to school and get this fancy piece of paper in order for you to become a doctor, an engineer, and XYZ, right? But what they don't tell you is that paper is not going to guarantee you to get that money, right? Because your patterning of your ancestral lineage and your frequency is one thing, but that paper is another, and they're separate, right? It doesn't mean that you're worthy and less significant to have a certain amount of money. You've been significant the moment you came onto this earth side. You've been significant for whatever that amount that you feel is so beautiful to attain or amazing to attain. That's like a dream to attain. You can attain it. Like it's done. It's already happening. But there is a system inside of you that has taught you that if I don't have this, I can't get the money. If I don't have this qualification, I can't get the money. And that was a big thing for me as well. Is I remember like sitting down and going into school, and I wanted to go into professional dancing for cruise ships. And my parents were like, we're not going to do that because you're going to need a degree. Gratitude to them though, because now I feel like the biggest thing I've learned from accepting that experience and their programming is it actually taught me to go through my way of school. And I got a degree that was the communications degree, and moved from business, didn't do really well in that because I was not good at math, and shifted into communications. But then what it taught me is how to be creative and to communicate. And it actually worked well and made sense based on my astrology, my soul, my spirit, what it came to do. But all this to say is that I decided to work with that system to make sure that school didn't take away my unique gifts of who I am, because every version of you, every person watching this is going to have a different frequency to bring abundance in a different way. So your gifts are meant to support you to attract money. So that means that the way that I manifest money is going to be completely different than the way you do. But how you learn that to support what money manifestation methods work for me and my spirit, my soul, is by understanding what is the programming I have around school? What is the programming that I have from my ancestors? And how does it not align with my gifts? How does it not align from the way that I get lit up to receive things, get satisfied and expansive to receive things? And when you can do that, life becomes more easy. It becomes more at peace. It becomes more playful, because money likes flow, loves energy of shifting, right? That's one of the biggest things that people don't talk about, the energetic of, you can't hold money. Savings, that's why it's this lie, because you can't, when you hold money feels restricted. Think about you being in a cell, being told that you can't be out there to do and explore new things. That's what money is. It's like a person, right? It's like a being, it's like an energy itself, right? So when we look at that, every time you think about savings, how can you flow your money? And that could be in investments. There's different investments out there. And I know that's something that has really helped me as well, and other people as well, as learning more about investments that I align with. Not just investing because you want to make money, like investing because you actually need and you actually tune into where your money's going into. And that's something you genuinely care about. Right? There's two different things when you look at that manifesting money, and that's an example of that, right? As opposed to my ancestors, where they would save every penny and get mad if something was expensive, or get to spend more money or float more money, and then, always complain that this is the only money they have, and basically attract struggle. It's hard for us because of this, like constantly bringing in this burden that money will never come to me because this is the life that I've chosen. And because of that, I'm going to blame someone else. But then I had to shift that to, wait a minute, I have these gifts, and no, money is not a punishment. It's not something that is here for a struggle. It's not something that I'm meant to, be in a space where I feel like I lack it, and really shift my coding of my mind and my thoughts. And that took a lot, but it really helped me shift. And then when I went to my manifestation methods, such as writing and saying it, because for me, the type of spirit I am, manifesting money really helps when I write something and I say it out loud. It is more likely, 80% or more likely to happen, because I've learned that through writing it down and speaking it, which is what my ancestors would say. They would speak and say, like, we are struggling, we're all those things. And now I'm shifting the frequency. No, we're in this space where money is flowing and money is coming to me. And I know that investing that money, flowing that money in and out of my life, is actually allowing it to keep moving, right? But when money is stagnant, I am stagnant. And so is my frequency. And money doesn't like that. Right? So it's understanding that relationship that I wish I knew, because then I wouldn't be stuck and attached by expecting that this manifestation method is going to make me make a certain amount of money. You're giving your power away, right? And I see this a lot with a lot of people. That's why they end up feeling lost and feeling like they're not in a space of flow with money. And the last thing that I think I wish I knew is money doesn't want to be locked up, right? You don't want to be locked up. Who wants to be locked up? We, as spirits, as souls, we all want to be free, right? And it's understanding that when you're taking money and you're locking up, or you're telling it's locked up, even if you're paying your bill and you're in the frequency of like, here it goes again, here's this burden of paying my rent or paying my mortgage or paying my phone bill, you're now giving the frequency that money is a pain, right? And then what's going to happen is money is going to keep giving you more pain around that. It's going to give you more burdens about that, because that's what you're charging that money with. So a great prompt to ask yourself is, how do you want to charge money? What is the energy that you want to charge money in? And when you can do that every day, a great old school, really good technique that really helped me is I put $100 bill in my pocket. I go to a mall and I'm like, I can buy that, I can buy that, I can buy that, I can buy that. And it just allows you to get comfortable with, I can buy that. Like I have the choice to shift something. I have the choice to receive this beautiful relationship, and I'm supported. I'm not struggling it. I'm not thinking it's hard. Like receiving, manifesting money doesn't have to be hard. I'm going to add that extra little thing I wish I knew and I didn't know, is that I thought that money had to be difficult. I had to struggle. And if I struggled, then it was good. That means I'm working hard. That means I'm doing well. And then I would be burnt out, or I'd be at a job that I don't really like and I didn't notice, because it wasn't until I burnt out that I received all the messages that this job was not actually supporting me. So there's so many layers of manifesting money. I feel like if I knew all of this, I probably wouldn't have chased jobs based on their salary. I probably wouldn't have ended up going into, certain relationships on the basis of that status, right? It also taught me that saving money was really just something to keep me in the programming of, only being here and that's it. And you can't be any more than that and cap that person at that space, right? And we're seeing this awakening of so many people where they're like, wait a minute, I can choose how much money I want to create. I can choose how much money I want to receive. And yes, I'm worthy of that. And now I'm going to work on coding and shifting my programming that I've received from my ancestors, from the schools, from the financial institutions, and shift them completely and get curious. And when you can take a risk on your spirit, which is another big thing I'm going to share with you guys here. Forget 5 things. Here's another one. So one of the biggest things that I really learned too was that as soon as I took a risk on myself and investing in myself, then it showed a commitment in this real 3D world that I'm actually, wanting this to manifest. But when I started to write it down on a piece of paper, it's only another journal entry. And the way that energy works with money is that when you want to invest in it first, I heard this story about this amazing guy who, he came from Colombia, and one of his stories that really resonated, mirrored back to me. And of course, it was in my field because of my frequency that I'm open to, and your frequency that you're open to as well, is that he remembers buying a truck for his products that he was, selling. And he didn't even have the products yet. He didn't even have the employees yet, but he knew that that truck was going to make the employees work around and do deliveries around the city. So when that happened, right away, he got people. So the thing is if you don't invest in your dream, if you don't invest in what you want to create as a lifestyle, forget money, go beyond what you want for money. Like money is giving you a certain lifestyle, a certain way of, vibrating at, right? And in that space, whatever you want it to be, if you don't invest and take that risk in that, then really what happens is money just becomes this thing that you want to attain, thinking that you don't have enough. But you have to understand, what in my means can I invest in to be prepared, because I already know that stuff's coming in. For me, it's this camera. I remember buying this camera at Best Buy, and I didn't really have a YouTube presence. I think I had only 295 subscribers at the time. And when I started, I went into the store, I invested in the camera, I was doing videos on my phone forever. And I was like, hey, I need to really show that I'm ready to invest in myself. And I'm saying that I want to get, paid for doing YouTube and start helping people all over the world and doing healing and doing all these stuff and mentoring people, doing plant medicine ceremonies, all the things I want to do, courses, but I'm not actually doing the thing. So where can I go and invest more into myself so that manifestation can really be ignited and that flow can come back to me as well? So what I did is I went into a store, I bought a full, tripod, I bought a camera, I bought a SIM card, I bought a battery, the whole thing, a Canon camera. And I remember getting to the cash, and a part of me, my whole spirit kind of rippled, because it was $1,075 and change. And I was just looking at it being like, okay, here we go. And I put my card out, I made the purchase, and I remember feeling so good investing in this. Wow, this is actually happening. I'm making the commitment to self. Things started to shift, and I started to notice that the moment that happened, the ideas started to flow from my videos. And then I started to, find the right trainings and the right teachers, and everything started to flow. And I was like, wow, this is what it means to manifest money. Manifesting money is manifesting the life you want to step into, and understanding, are you willing to invest as much as the money is willing to come into your life and for you to invest? It's both ways. It's a mirror. So my question to you is, are you willing to invest in yourself? And in that turn, that money will invest in you. But until you start to take the action, it's just an idea, and it's just a download that could possibly happen. And why a lot of people have a hard time manifesting the money they want to receive is they keep things as an idea, and they let fear divide them to investing to themselves. They let this idea, this reality that we have that can literally change in minutes and you have no control of. You can't control money, you can't control this life that we live, but what we can do is be present with it and allowing ourselves to say, what in my means can I do to invest and just take a step forward? Take a step forward in my programming and shifting that. Take a step forward into understanding that I'm not saving myself through money. I'm not saving my family or other people. Sorry, the camera cut off. So one of the biggest things too is understanding, where am I being a victim to money? Where am I victimizing myself so I can be in the space of scarcity? right? And when you can look at that and see the reality of what it is and where the programming comes from, things can shift. And this is something that I do with my clients. So if this is something that you want to do and you deeply want to understand, like, why is the life that I'm living right now is in a space of scarcity or in a place of where I don't want to be, like, apply to the rebirth program. I work one-on-one on healing through various practices that I've learned over the 7+ years. And we really tap into the root of why you aren't able to manifest money and why your life is at this frequency. And yes, you're going to be triggered because you're investing in yourself in this program, but when you do that, you are now being held accountable. And money requires power of responsibility as well. And this is something I wish I knew when I manifest money, is that when I'm calling that money in, I'm also calling in the responsibility with that money energetically. And this is something people disregard. They want the money, but not the responsibility. And when that happens, then we find ourselves feeling lost in the chaos around money and the relationship with money. And, we find ourselves in spaces where bills aren't paid and things are like that and whatnot. And it's because we have this relationship that I don't want to be responsible with it, but I want all the things, right? And it's the same thing energetically with a relationship. I don't want to be committed, but I want to have someone to cuddle and have someone on call all the time, right? There's something there that we need to look at. And that's why I always say that our money relationship is a reflection of our relationship with people in our life. So how is money and your relationship with people the closest to you? What is the mirror that is here for you to reprogram, to heal, to step into, to release, to dissolve, and really bring into the frequency of what you're calling in? So I can go on and on with this conversation and this channel message for you guys, but I would love to have a Q&A. I feel like that's a great way for me to understand what you want to learn about manifesting money, and maybe some shares that you want to talk about down below in the comments, and maybe even sharing what is the biggest takeaway that you've taken from this video that you're going to really impact. Maybe you were triggered, maybe something came up, maybe a big epiphany, eureka moment through our conversation here, whatever it is. I love to hear your comments, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe. It does help the channel a lot and just allows other people to step into their frequency of abundance. And if you want to go deeper into this process, the places where I can really support you is the Citrine Vortex course. This is a sacral chakra course, which money is all related to the sacral. It's all related to the stomach of life force, being able to create our own money, our finances, and being able to bring that into our life and shifting our energy. So with the intention of shifting your energetic relationship with abundance, this course can be very powerful for you. And it's a workshop that I've done live that I've made into a course. So you can go and enroll down below. And if you want more of an in-person deep process with each other, whether it's virtually or in person, I do have a 3 and a 6 month program. It's called the Rebirth Program. It's allowing you to rebirth into your healing and really a metamorphosis of shifting your whole life within these months together. And that's all through you doing your healing. So I'm just literally the flashlight helping you be accountable to it and helping you with that. And if that intention is to help you manifest money in abundance and that abundant life you want, you can apply down below. I also have plant medicine retreats and other courses as well. So happy in manifesting of money. I hope this video was, impactful for you and you received some wisdom that might have been supportive for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.